Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching The Flash Season 4. Today I'm just going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to after rewatching Episode 3, Luck Be a Lady. So one of the things I really liked about this episode, guys, was that we finally learned a little bit more about the whole season's kind of like a plot point, which is the bus metas and the thinker. And we see at the beginning of this episode that we finally get our first glimpse of what happened on that bus and what exactly went on. And we're starting to the team's starting to put together who the different metas are. And I particularly like this one because it was fun. I always like these different ones, these different Flash villains that aren't just some kind of brute strength or some kind of other speedster. I like that this season in particular and this episode in particular brought out one of those other wacky kind of like harder to deal with villains for the Flash. And so you couldn't just rush right in because of the bad luck. When he tried that, he slipped on some marbles, which I thought was a kind of funny little gag. But this whole episode had a bunch of fun gags because of the bad luck nature of Hazard's power in this, and I just really enjoyed that about this episode. But some of the things I have written down in particular that I liked about this episode are that Harry shows up. I love Harry. Harry's my favorite. He's just great. He's definitely one of my favorite characters in the show, and I love that he shows up and he's always his sassy self. And I love that we had to see him being so awkward and having to deliver his daughter's breakup cube and no one knowing what that is and him having to explain it. And I just love that scene. It was great. And anytime Harry's kicking around, I just really love it. And so I'm glad that he sticks around after this episode and for the rest of the season. And we get more Harrys eventually. But Wally also gets dumped in the process of that, which, sucks for Wally, but it's also kind of the setup point for Wally to leave the show. This is the episode where we lose him, which is slightly sad, but I like that he goes in to join the Legends of Tomorrow TV show, and that team, which is a little bit more of a better fit, him being like kind of the kid guy, and I feel he fits a little bit better in with the Legends. Just he's a little bit of an outsider like that, and he can't have two speedsters all the time. It's just a little too much. So I like that. I like that they transfer him from one show to the other as opposed to just cutting him out of the universe completely, or just him kind of getting kind of written off. So I like that he kind of transfers over shows, and I like that the Arrowverse has gotten to that point that we can just take the kid Flash, who's always been kind of a season regular / member of the main cast, but he's never been the star. So I like that we can take him and plant him over into Legends. So I just really enjoyed that aspect of this one. The last thing I read was just Flash trips on marbles. I already talked about that. There was a mention of Atlantean plastic by Harry when he was first given the breakup cube to her, which I love those little things, those little, they just said Atlantean, that's all I needed. I didn't need them to do anything more, but I love that little tie that's like, oh, yeah, DC Universe. But yeah, and then the last thing we find out in this episode, which is really fun, the episode ends off with Joe and Cecile finding out that Cecile's pregnant, which leads to a whole lot of fun in this season with her, that baby having a little bit of powers and her getting some psychic stuff. But that we're going to talk about once we get to those episodes. That's all my thoughts I had for this particular episode 3, Luck Be a Lady. But what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? What were your favorite parts? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me again, and have a good one.